allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here.
Mr. Vanderbilt.
Here.
Mr. Ward.
Here.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Excuse me. I'd like to move that one item for discussion of drainage to the next meeting.
Which one?
The overpayment of
Oh, okay.
Make a motion to accept the amendment minus that.
Support.
all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. October 22nd, 2024 minutes. Any corrections?
Make a motion to approve it.
I'll support it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Set public hearing for land trade with Osceola County Sportsman's Club.
That's Nick.
So at the advice of the county insurance provider, we have been working with the Osceola County Sportsman's Club on a potential land trade. We would trade roughly 18 acres where the Otter Creek Shooting Sports Complex is currently located for a piece of property that they have that's like 30 acres down in Bellway Township in the southern part of the county. So the Conservation Board is in support of this, but in order to transfer the land, the Conservation Board does not have the authority required by law to dispose of property. So that is something that would need to be done by the Osceola County Board of Supervisors.
If they'll do an even trade.
It's close, valuation-wise.
What's that 30 acres being used for currently?
Wildlife habitat. It's a WMA. So I would ask that you guys set a date for a public hearing in which we can transfer the land to the Osceola County Sportsman's Club.
What's the time frame for that?
Either 10 and 20 or 4 and 20. So Nola's gonna work on a notice for that then?
Yeah.
To put in the paper or whatever.
So we could do it on the 26th.
No, well, if it's 4 and 20 we could, but I don't, if it's 10 and 20 then we can't, it's too late. Cause I had to have it in the paper next week and that doesn't give us 10 days.
So calendar or business days? It's calendar days, I don't remember.
Yeah. So either the 10th, we could probably do it on the 10th probably. Have to have the paper to the 27th. We could do it on the 10th, December 10. Just in case it's 10 and 20, I can't read offhand, so.
I'd make a motion for the 10th.
Should do 9 o'clock then?
Yep.
Okay.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 8:50, let's start with Becky.
Well, November 1st, we mailed out delinquent notices for the property tax. We still have about $103,000 to collect, but they have been coming in, so that's good. Sarah's been staying busy with drives, so that's keeping her occupied. A lot of parent-taught students, so driver's ed now, they can do a parent-taught, so we have a lot of those kids coming in to do their drive tests, so, yeah. We're just staying busy with motor vehicle and
When did they change that?
July 1st.
Didn't know anything about that.
Because there's not a lot of driver's ed instructors anymore.
Not
So-
a lot, none.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, a lot of it's virtual if you do it online, and then you have to record your kid driving, so.
I don't know why they don't make the sheriff do it.
Sarah says they're pretty good drivers, actually, like, she'd rather drive with them versus an elderly, so.
So flooding update, we have two washout areas where we have culverts, those culverts have been ordered, they probably won't get it done until the spring. The bridge that had a lot of erosion downstream of Poet, that one's been corrected and repaired. The bridge that got washed out, FEMA did authorize us to sole source to WHKS based on our on-call contract we have with them. So I've got a task order ready to go with them that they will start the design of that bridge. We hope to get that one rebuilt next summer. The paving project, the asphalt paving is complete. What's left now is to grind in rumble strips for the edge line and center line on the two major roads, A22 and A34, and then striping. The truck shop is complete. Punch list items have been addressed, so there'll be a final payment coming for that in the next at the next board meeting. Equipment-wise, we are starting to prepare to get a quote for a new maintainer, which we'll be putting in the budget for next year. And then the extra shed at the ambulance garage that we're going to tear down, we're going to tear that down this spring. We're going to go ahead and use it this winter as cold storage, and then we'll tear it down once we're done using it. So that's what I got.
Sheila.
Okay, we have a lot of hunting license going on with the deer and pheasant and everything going on now, and a lot of people have come in and renewed their ATVs and orbs and snowmobiles for 2025 already. And you do that before December 31st without after that it'll be a $5 penalty fee for that. And I want to mention the reporting fee increase. I know you were sent some information on that, and they're moving ahead with that and to the legislation. Right now, we get $7 for the first page and $5 for each additional page in there. We want to try to up that to $10 a page across the board, which would increase the general fund for the counties, because $2 would go for the recorder technology fund, and $3 would go to idle land records for operations, and then the rest would go to the county fund. And that's just the first page. The additional $10 for each other page would just go into the general fund. So it hasn't been changed since 1985, so.
ISAC likes the words fee modernization
Yeah.
versus increases.
Same thing. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, so we've been working on land trades with the Oakville County Sportsman's Club, as you guys know. The other two, I guess, major things that we got going on is the first shipment of trout were stocked last week, Wednesday. Larry came down from Winona with our first load of trout. They're big ones this year. And so we tagged 100 of them. Your odds of catching a tagged fish right now are really good because there wasn't that many fish and we tagged 100 of them. We'll probably have to have some more trout put in before we have our Trout Fest event, which has been scheduled for February 1st. It's not the right calendar. And then the other thing is, we've been working on the cabin, except for some caulking. The exterior of the cabin has been completed, and our electrician showed up yesterday to start wiring it, and the way it sounded, he was planning on being done today. So we are moving along with that.
Kevin. Been trying to work on some recruiting. It's going really slow. We have a retirement coming up. Bell Pearl's gonna retire starting December 31st. And also I have a guy out for a month on a medical leave, so kind of short-handed right now.
Did you get your other spot filled?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Like I said, we need to do some recruiting. It's slim out there for everybody, so it's not just us.
Auditor?
Well, we got through the election really well, went really well. Thank my staff and the PEOs for that. It went really smooth this year. As you can see, Stanton's, they're putting in the heating and cooling units. They're working on that. And we've been dealing with passports. We've been busy with that. And we have a accrual report due December 1 and our TIF reports are due December 1. So that's our next big project we are working on. And Dave is done for right now here. So yeah, that's all I got.
Who brought donuts?
Leroy.
Leroy. So you just help yourself.
I baked them.
My odds of catching a tag fish still don't improve my odds of catching any fish.
Lead a horse to water.
Do a lot of casting and railing, I never even catch it.
You're supposed to put a hook on the line, though.
I haven't found anything to work.
Is that recovered or something?
Audrey couldn't be here today, but he gave 2 quotes for, I think I sent this out to you, for purchasing a pump for the May City. One,
Need me for anything later on or not? No? Jerry, when you're done here, and before you leave town, can you stop in the office? Sure.
are you coming back to the closed session at 10?
Do you need, what time is it?
10 o'clock?
Okay, yep, I can do that.
Yeah, so you get 2 bids. I think it's in your packet. One's for Ding's Fire Equipment for Fire Company for $3,875. And the next one is Alex for $4,370. But we can use that disaster fund money for that. The recovery fund balance is $2,281.52, so it won't cover all the expense, but then they can apply for grants, community foundation grant, to cover the additional cost.
Angus one doesn't have shipping included, whereas the other one does. If it was the same shipping, it would be lower yet, but
I don't know for sure why it doesn't have shipping. Well, it says shipping to be determined.
I'd take a motion on either one of them.
You had $400 for shipping on that first one, it's about even.
I'll make a motion to proceed with the Dingus Fire provided shipping. Keeps it below the other one.
Work that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 9 o'clock, canvass the general election.
All right, here's, you all voted. Is anyone gonna look at that?
Everything?
Well, yeah, all these have to be signed, but that's if you wanna, those are all who voted by precinct. Last week I had a post audit for Osceola 2 and everything balanced the way it was supposed to. You don't manage the machine, so we were good there.
Good turnout compared to other general elections.
I
I'm
can't,
not sure.
but good.
And
Yeah.
then he's high.
We had a lot of new voters this year. Probably about the same as what we had 4 years ago, because we had like roughly 1,400 absentees and 1,800 voted at the polls, so about what we had this year, close to it anyway.
Absentees were that much lower this time than last time, huh?
Yeah, but that was, an exceptional
Yeah, that
year.
was-
Still 938 was, but we need to talk to the legislator. 20 days out is not enough time to send ballots and get them back. Yeah, it's gonna be cramping a lot. And I dropped your donut. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Can you get you another one?
You didn't need that donut.
I was trying to get this. You guys can start signing your life away.
I think she was trying to steal the donut.
Here, grab another one.
Not right now, no.
Oh my gosh, anybody? Oh my goodness gracious, this is not how my day's gonna be.
Yeah, guys, don't.
You wanna pass that resolution before we start signing?
Sure.
Take a motion on resolution number 11. Certification of general election results.
I'll make that motion. Support.
Mr. Stone.
Yes.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Moore.
Aye.
Mr. Van Hook.
Right.
Motion carries. John Summer.
I saw one. Oops, I guess you got that too. Just
That's just, yeah, that's just one set. Yeah, I'm doing the easy ones first for you.
Now we get to have fun.
Yeah, now you get it where your scram.
Be a lot easier if I had my full phone.
Give you energy to do it. It's like, oh my gosh.
This is a 5-second rule.
Oh, that's just me golf.
I'm gonna sign the resolution.
Just one.
Depends on if you're gonna see this, that I signed it.
Probably not. The state will though.
Okay, I don't have to get his read that one.
Sure.
I haven't seen your ones from me.
Just the one on this.
Yep. God.
Getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's okay. I did that.
Couldn't resist.
I'm not surprised I did it. I really am not, but I really didn't mean to.
Sure.
Weak and face feeling. I don't know.
Still
Get going, it's fine. That'll work.
Just the front one.
Yep.
Last month.
Right.
In Osceola too, Mike Appledorn was listed and it had 10th Street West.
Don't know unless you move that this check, I don't know.
You think you can multitask, Jason?
Oh, I don't know, Dad made me aware that multitasking might just be the ability to mess two things up at once. If I'm struggling, I can sign later.
Okay. Approved Quick Trip Inc. Class E retail alcohol license.
I'd make that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approve fiscal year 25 asphalt project plans, FM portion Oriole Avenue and 180.
Yeah, this was part of the project that's going on right now that had to be kicked to the next fiscal year because at the time of bid award, we didn't have enough money in our FM account. So another year of FM funds being dropped in and no problem now creating this part of the project. So it's part of the project that's always been there, just had to be kicked a year.
Is that just information, or do we need a motion?
We need a approval of the plan set.
You know, I'll make that motion to.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discuss turning lane on Highway 60 on Ash Street.
It was brought to my attention from some citizens, and I think they talked to Keith too. They would like to have a turning lane come off of Highway 60 into Ashton. Nothing that would cost them, they just asked for our support, if we would support something like that. And maybe you need a resolution, Keith?
I would suggest you could do a resolution of support. They're gonna be asking or petitioning the state to put that in.
When the 4-lane first went in, we tried our darndest to get that done. Never did get it
There's
done.
not a lot of them. I looked at 60 along Google Earth down the way. There are a handful here and there. There's one for Poet right there, but for the most part, there are not right turn lanes off 60. There's left turn lanes from the high speed lane, but the state didn't put them in.
I'd support it if they can get her done.
I can work with Noel, or I can write a resolution for you guys for the next meeting to bring.
This would be for the north entrance to Ashton, on
northern
the southbound
entrance, I
lane.
believe, yes.
They're just looking for our support if
Yeah.
they can get something done. I don't know why we won't, so.
I know at one time we even offered to pay for it and they wouldn't do it.
Really? Approved pay application for jail remodel.
How come we're not doing a retainage like we do with the drainage districts and other projects.
Don't know. Or which one? Usually engineer costs we don't. It's usually the contractors who we really have a retainage with. It's usually, I mean, that would come when contractors would have a retainage until we're done, but we've never done that with anybody else.
Total due for Shell, just the 68.
Yes.
And we paid hotel travel.
Mm-hmm.
What is the multiplier for? Where do they get from? Can you explain that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Multiplier. Total due for expenses, multiplier.
I mean, their hotel travel, the way I see it, maybe I'm not looking at it right, 891.70.
Mm-hmm.
What is the 1.2% multiplier for? Anybody?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Can definitely call John and ask him.
It's not a big deal in the big scheme of things, but it's still.
Something to know what it is.
Yeah. Puts about $200 on that.
Do you want me to reach out to John and see if he's there?
What do you guys think? Yeah.
It'd be nice to know what it's for. I see this, I'm not saying Pocahontas.
Cheapest they ever do one that is Pocahontas.
It is. A bit cheaper.
110 a night for Pocahontas and 87 for Des Moines.
What'd you have for Pocahontas? 221.
Well, it's
Two
days.
Two nights, yeah.
So it's 110 a day.
Yeah.
I was in Pocahontas.
I don't ever remember seeing that going through there.
Yeah, they got it. It's like a.
Hey John, this is Rochelle from Osceola. How are you? I'm gonna put you on speaker a minute. They have a question about the pay app. They want to know what that multiplier fee is that Rick has on his bill. You know what that is? Okay, let me put you on speaker once. Can you hear me, John?
Yeah,
Okay. The expenses you have, his hotel expense and travel expense that came to $891.70, and then there was a 1.20% multiplier fee. What's that? They didn't know what that was.
okay. I'm pulling up contracts, so I
Okay.
can talk about this too. YouTube page.
After this, we might have to, the Family Crisis Center has to be in Rock Rapids by 10:30, so we might need to have her next, once we figure this out. Yeah, she's out there.
That's when he gets stay overnight.
Reimbursable.
Could be.
Yeah, it's part of the reimbursable expenses. It's 0.2% on top for reimbursable expenses. That's for them holding, taking care of the expenses and then charging for them. So it's on 11.5 of the contract.
It took 3 nights to be here to do architecture work, and none of them are here.
Going back to the pad too.
But it's in the, we understand it's in the contract?
It's in the contract, right, John, for that modified?
Yeah,
fee?
yeah, that's just, when you're carrying the reimbursables, there's usually a charge for, taking care of them reimbursables and then holding them for a month or whenever you can charge for them. So it's just, expense that, typically, mine's only like 1.1 on reimbursables. So.
Why would he stay in Pocahontas and not up here?
I can't answer that question. That's where he drove to that night, probably. So,
In 2 days.
the consultant,
night
that's for his consultants too. Mileage. He had, there's days in Des Moines and then one in Pocahontas.
2 of
And
them.
that could have been for some of the consultants too.
Where's he from? Where's this Rick from?
Richmond,
Texas.
Texas.
Oh, okay.
He
Okay, I see it
originally
now.
was from Omaha, but then he moved to Texas. So he flew into Des Moines and then traveled from Des Moines.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe, I don't know why he stayed in Pocahontas and not Sidler.
Because you can.
We got 2 of them.
All right, I don't have any other questions.
Yeah.
All right, I think we don't have any more questions, John, so we'll talk to you later.
Okay,
Right.
appreciate it.
Thanks, bye.
Yep, bye.
Take a motion or not a motion?
Make a motion for that. You have 68 tires.
Any support?
Well, it was kind of stuck, I think. Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries. o'clock. Or sorry, 9:30. Family Crisis Center annual report.
Hi. So I have an advocate joining me. She's just running a little bit behind, so maybe start with passing along this report here, so you guys have that to look at while I talk.
Did you just start?
Yes. So my name is Tara. My name is Tara, and I'm from Family Crisis Centers, and I'll let Sarah introduce herself.
My name is Sarah. I'm pretty sure all you guys have met me before, but with the domestic violence advocate for Osceola County.
So really what we want to do today is just provide you an update on what we've done in the county over the last year. And I'll kind of work my way up from the bottom of that report. So our call center is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's always staffed with real live people, so any person can call us for anything that they need at any time. You know, we work with people for past and current abuse, past and current crime, difficult situations in their life, scams, fraud, really anything you can think of that someone might need help or support with, we're there to provide that support at any point during the day. So last year, we know for sure that we took 28 calls from Osceola County, but that number is likely higher just because we don't require anyone who calls us to tell us where they're actually from. If they're more comfortable remaining anonymous, we absolutely let them do that, just because, you know, some of the sensitive things that people talk about, they're not comfortable with people knowing who they are. So we provide that anonymity for them just so that we know that they get the support they need. And then housing, last year we helped 14 Osceola County residents, and really what that was is, you know, we just help victims of domestic violence secure safe, permanent housing as quickly as possible. So we help them identify potential housing locations for them, rental properties. We provide some financial assistance. A lot of times that's first month's rent, deposit, utilities, and a lot of times we'll help with that rent, usually up to about 6 months, but the goal is definitely for them to be self-sufficient on their own. So we work with them to build that permanent, stable housing so that they don't have to return to that abusive partner. And then the next program, we served 7 Osceola County residents with our medical clinic outreach program. And really what that is we have some advocates embedded in some medical and mental health clinics. And really we're just trying to make it easier for people to access services through routine health care. You know, so sometimes that's just a more safe and comfortable way for people to seek support. There are times when people are stalked or tracked by their abusive partner, so they have to answer to every place they go. Why'd you go here? What were you doing there? So really by having our advocates in some medical clinics, it alleviates that stress for that victim. And by partnering with doctors and nurses, we can assess for trauma and then get that referral a little quicker sometimes. So that's the medical clinic outreach. Then we have homicide and other violent crimes. And okay, sounds good. Homicide and other violent crimes. Last year we served 9 clients from Osceola County, and that's exactly as it sounds. We work with victims who've experienced a homicide of a loved one or any other violent crime. So, you know, we've done burglary, arson, assault, robbery, really any violent crime you can think of.
John, hold on a minute, please.
Sorry about that. That's okay. That's okay. Any violent crime you can think of, we've probably served it. And really our role is just to walk alongside those victims as they're going through that process. You know, law enforcement has a really important job of investigating that crime, and certainly that's where we want them to channel their energy. But those victims also need support, so that's where we can come in. I had talked a little bit with a mom whose daughter was killed by an ex-partner And she just talked about how you don't anticipate something like that happening, obviously. And she didn't know what way was up when that happened. And so she really needed someone there who's telling her, like, what's coming next? What does this process look like? What do you need to help get you through this next day? So she really talked about just how crucial that was to her family navigating that process. And that's really just our role in that.
And being there every step of the way through the trial process and sitting there with them.
Yeah, and you know, we've talked a lot that grief, sometimes it can be 7 years later and it still feels like it happened yesterday. And so with those clients, like, we never cut off that support. So if they need us 7 years down the road, we're there. So it's really open-ended and definitely driven by the client and what they need. And then the last area that we've helped Osceola County residents is through domestic violence, and we helped 12 people, and so I'll maybe let Sarah talk about that since that's really her expertise.
I mean, it's just like it sounds like 12, when I look at 12, and I know Osceola is a smaller county, and it doesn't seem like there was quite 12, or some days it feels like there was 25, you know. When I get the call or the referral, I get a lot of referrals from police and from county attorney, word of mouth, and those all look different, whether that be they need help filling out a protection order, just someone to talk to, what their options are. Maybe someone's ready to leave, and leaving is the most dangerous time. So that's safety planning and coming up with a plan to leave, so that they are safe. It'd be going to court with them through protection orders, or I've even gone through a divorce court with someone who was in a domestic relationship, helping them move, find housing, find resources in the community. I'm real good at that. Networking so that I know those resources, and then just being there and for someone to talk to, and whatever they may need support on.
Yeah, Sarah's really just there to help that client with whatever they need to get safe and to feel safe. And I think that really covers it pretty well. Do you guys have any questions about the services we provide?
Is the domestic use, is that getting more and more?
I get that question a lot, and I would say that it's not necessarily growing in terms of how much there is. It was probably always there. We just definitely see years where people reaching out for help goes up. So maybe, they finally found that comfort with reaching out for help, or they maybe finally learned that there was a resource here for them. So I would say it's definitely always there. And so when those numbers ebb and flow, it just really is a matter of someone finding that comfort or knowing to reach out.
And outreach is one of my jobs as well. I try to get out and promote FCC as much as possible.
When I walked in, I saw our pull tab hanging in the courthouse, so with our number that people can just tear off and take, and there were definitely some torn off there. So.
And I go into schools. I go into the school here in town at least once a year. I meet with, I check in with Nolan, the county attorney, often, the police station a lot, just making sure they have supplies, and if there's any questions they have, and just reminding them that we're here and we actually help make their jobs easier, because they've got a job to do, and they don't always have time for all the questions and the emotions that go into that. So that's what we're here for.
Seems like I hear about it a lot more than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. I think definitely society as a whole talks about it a lot more, which is a good thing.
Good and bad thing.
Yeah, yeah. And so it can be disheartening to hear about it a lot more, but that's why we're here. So.
It definitely, and I used to be, you know, somebody standing on the outside looking in before I started in this career, over 4 years ago. It's definitely happening a lot more than anybody on the outside realizes. And I mean, you would never know. It's a lot of the behind the scenes, behind closed doors type of stuff, so.
Yeah. So, you know, we just wanted to provide that report to you of what we've done in the county last year, and we really wanted to thank you for your commitment of funds that you gave us for fiscal year 25. We really appreciated that, and I think our request in fiscal year 26 is just that same level of support.
Any other questions? Thank you much.
Yeah.
Thanks for what you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry. Do you happen to have any extras in the reports? Do you happen to have an extra report?
Yes, we have it. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Discuss insurance premium discounts in the wellness participation program.
We'll forward you a number of emails identifying other counties and some samples. Certainly would welcome feedback on what approach or what ones look good. I'd like to continue working with Jack. Don't have anything specific to consider at this point, but I believe last week we did learn we did not attain the full 5% discount, which had been done for a number of years, even though it looked like it might not often. So yeah, I'm not pleased. I think it's a small ask and a small thing that our employees can and should be doing to help save the taxpayers money. So yeah, I'm pretty resolved to take an approach that indicates that to the taxpayers and provides financial relief to them if our employees aren't going to participate and attain that. And I think it should be borne by those that choose not to participate. I don't want to harm all of I think the benefit we offer is reasonable and should continue, but this needs to be addressed. So I'll step off my soapbox and hope that you guys will offer some guidance or some opinions on some of the other counties' approaches, and we can work with Jack and get something put in place here before too long, I guess.
Dollar amount or per month or per year?
I always had percentage of the premium in my mind because it changes, so a dollar amount fixed doesn't tie the same to it, but and the other thoughts I'd been working with, talking to Chantry quite a bit, was that we would address it on the single plan side of things, because whether you carry single or family, that would affect you then. And currently we pay 100% of single, whether it's single or family policy. Then I don't think language needs to address the family side of things, because it would just be impacting what the county contributes towards a single policy based on whether you participated in wellness or did not. I think that's how it kind of looked for other counties as well, so. I have my ideas, but I'm not set in stone. I'm not, but I would like to see something done. So before I push too far and it not be something that you guys think is reasonable, then I kind of wanted more of that guidance. So.
I think it is.
You gotta do something to kind of get everybody to participate. I'm not sure what that something is, whether it's discounting the ones that participate, leaving everybody else's not discounted, or there's a lot of different ways to do it.
Yeah, and the wording or approach is somewhat crucial, because as it's been said, it needs to incentivize and not penalize.
So maybe go on the discount route for the ones that participate. If you don't participate, no discount.
Along that line, I think what I'd talked with Chantry was that we would move from the county covering 100% of single plan to the county will cover, and this is open, 95% of a single plan. If employee chooses to fully participate in the ISAC identified wellness things that attain the discount, the county will cover the other 5% of those employees. So you're incentivizing the use by the additional coverage payment was the thought I'd had. And for bookkeeping side of it, I thought that kind of just adds one line. Now you're at 95% period. If they qualified, then that other line applies. But yeah, there's legwork to be done on that, but it might be one of the simpler approaches to it. I don't want it to be cumbersome and difficult for the administration of it either, but
Is 5% enough incentive?
probably not when you consider the overall premium difference on everybody's policies.
So maybe that
But-
number needs to be a little bigger.
It's a place to
It's
start
open
to
to
see everybody.
discussion. And a fixed dollar amount could work too. You can always change that number as well. So it's not that it has to be a certain approach. Because I think some of them said that the county contributes to a certain dollar amount towards insurance. So you could change that every year based on what premiums do. It's workable, and whatever's preferable, I guess.
Well, I guess whatever incentivizes the program.
So I've got nothing significant at this point, but I'm not gonna let it die, hopefully. Unless you guys
Keep
do.
working on it.
All right, thanks,
We're
guys.
all on board.
Yeah.
Discuss and approve quote for curbs on courthouse.
Rick suggested 5-star, so that's who I went with for those curbs on our flat roof.
What is it actually
Well,
supposed
they're
to do?
building curbs to set in the units on top of our flat roof up there. It's kind of like to hold them in place, I guess. He called it a curb. Does that make sense? Kind of like a box to hold the units in place on top of the roof up there, on the flat roof on top of the courthouse for the new units that we're getting.
Made out of metal, right?
I'm assuming so. I had to call Rick to figure out what we even needed up there because I wasn't 100% sure.
Do we need to get another estimate or not? You don't have to.
We don't have to, this is who he suggested, but if the board wants me to, I can reach out to another roofing company. You know, McDonald Roofing did the last time, but I'm not for sure if they would come back, so. I just asked Rick who he suggested, and that's what he did, so.
Yeah.
That's what I went with.
I don't have a problem with it.
And he said he expected it to be that bid, or that price. He wasn't surprised, like I was. So,
Well, as I understand it, it's gonna keep the flat roof from having trying to fit around the unit. You're raising it so that you're improving the integrity of the roof, so. On that scale, it seems fairly reasonable if it's avoiding problems. I would make a motion to go forward and approve the quote.
Support that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Claims.
claims for Bosma Water Service, numbers 763 and 765.
Make a motion to pay them.
I'll support that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All those abstaining,
I'm abstaining.
motion carries.
Steve Gold, we held back 5% of his bid to finish off the check marks that we had. And he came in the other day and said that he had completed all of those except for, what are we missing?
The only thing that I see that's not there that was the pusher springs on the door tracks, the little overhead doors. They were there during construction, but then they did not get installed. And I had asked him about them, and he said they weren't needed, or they shouldn't have been part or something. So I asked him if there was gonna be a credit, and never got back with me on that. Typically, when you run a side mount opener as opposed to an overhead opener, they recommend you use those pusher springs. It helps push the door back down whenever you go down. The doors have been operating for a year without them. Keep pushing the issue or not.
Probably put them on.
I don't know what he did with them.
Were those doors obtained from a different vendor?
They can't keep Schnetz.
Would they have an opinion on it, or would it be
Schnetz
wise?
said they should be installed.
And Gold didn't think they should need it to be, so. I don't know which way to go, so we have to tell me what to do with this final 5% or 10%. It was $5,954. We owe them.
If they're recommended to be on there, I'd say they should be there.
We want to consider paying half of it and informing him that the other would be done when those pusher springs are installed.
Yes.
So pay half the bill. Somebody want to talk to him about that?
Keith?
Okay.
That claim is in here.
No, we have not paid it yet. I was gonna do a handwritten on it, but I wanted
Okay.
what the board wanted to do first before I did anything with it, so.
Any other questions on claims?
Will some of that hired stuff for Chief Clausen be covered by FEMA?
Yes.
Good.
Some of the work from H&H, Keith Clausen work, and I don't know the name of the other contractor we have. They're down out of George. That work will be turned into FEMA.
I would make a motion to pay the remaining of the claims.
I'll support that.
All those in favor?
Right?
All those opposed, same sign.
Those are had to sign.
10 o'clock. Time
Are you turning 11? Are you 11? Are you 11? It's in Wilson Township.
No. Jason is.
Jason's in that one. Okay.
I lost a printer.
take a motion to enter into closed session under Iowa Code 20.17.
I'll make that motion.
Support it.
Mr. Schulte,
Aye.
Mr. DeBoer,
Aye.
Mr. Vanderhook,
Aye.
Mr. Alpert. Motion carried.